Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to a Software Engineer Plays. Back in Human Resource Machine today, and we are looking at optimizing level 20 here, Multiplication Workshop. You can see offline I was tinkering around with it and was able to turn on one light. So I'll walk you through that solution now, and then we can work on getting the speed solved online. Okay, so go ahead and clear their solution here and get rid of their labels. So we're going to set up the same labels that we had last time, just because those are nice and easy to follow. We have A, we have B, and then we have our result. Alrighty, so similar to last time, the way we want to do this is, obviously we have to go to the inbox twice, and we want to copy the two slots. But importantly, we don't need to do 0 checks. We're going to do 1 check if one of the spots is negative. And that'll work out. It's not going to be optimal, but you'll see that it will work out either way. And we're going to go ahead and initialize our result with 0. So we're going to copy from 0 and copy that to our result. Okay, so this will get us set up. We'll have 0 there, 3 in slot A, and 4 in slot B. So now what we want to do is basically what we were doing before, but just in a slightly different order. So we still want to use one of our numbers as the counter. We're going to use, let's use A as our counter here. So we're just going to subtract 1 from A, and then what we're going to do, so that we don't have to check if either number is 0, is we're going to check to see if A is negative, and I'll explain why when we actually step through the program, but we're going to keep moving A down until it's negative. So if A is 0, then the first iteration through this loop, it's going to become a negative 1. Okay, so now we want to pick up a copy of our copy of the result. That's another thing we're switching around here. We're adding the result to B instead of adding B to the result. So we're going to pick up a copy of the result, copy from the result. We are going to add B to it, and then we're going to store that back in the result. Okay, so you can see we are stepping, this will be our main loop where we step down through A, and we're going to pick up the result, add B to it, and store it back in the result. So the way this will work, the way this gets around the 0 problem is obviously if A is 0, when we subtract 1 from it, it's going to become negative. If B is the only number that's 0, we're going to keep just adding 0, because we stored 0 in the result. We're going to keep adding 0 as many times as A says to. So obviously that's not optimal, because if A was 100 and B was 0, we're going to add 0 to itself 100 times before we send to the outbox, but that's okay for the purposes of doing it in the fewest number of blocks. So we got the jump of negative there. Now we need to jump back up to the top of our loop here. So that's going to loop until A is negative, then it's going to jump out of the loop, at which point we can copy from our result and send to the outbox. Alright, now we should be able to get our 15th block and loop back to the top. So let's step through this, okay? We're going to set up our result as 0. We're going to get our two numbers, 3 and 4. We're going to make 3 equal to 2. It's not going to be negative, so we're going to copy a 0, add 4 to it, and store a 4 back in result. Jump back up. That 2 is going to become 1. Pick up the 4, add 4 to it, becomes 8. Our 1 becomes a 0. Pick up the 8, add 4 to it, we get 12. The 0 then becomes -1, so we jump out. copy the result, send it to the outbox, and pick up the next two numbers. So, should work. Let's step through it and see what happens. So first of all, we initialize that result. Pick up the 4, store it in A, or 3, excuse me, pick up the 4, store it in B. Now we bump it, add 4 to the 0, store it. And now we bump it, pick up the 4, add 4 to it, and store it. Bump it again, pick up the 8, add 4 to it, store it, bump that to -1. It's negative, so we pick up the result and send it to the outbox. Reinitialize the result, and now start over again. So this is going to happen 8 times now. He's going to step through there 8 times. Keep on going. Alright. This one's going to be kind of interesting because the B is 0 here, so we're going to add 0 to itself 4 times like we talked about here. So here's the first time. 0 plus 0 is 0. Kind of boring and unexciting. We're just going to watch him add 0 a bunch of times. And one more time. Add 0 to 0. Lots of zeros on the board. We're going to get a negative. He's going to send out the 0. Alright. Now in this next case, we have A equal to 0. And B equal to 8. So we're going to bump it. It's going to be negative right away, so we're just going to ship that 0. And now we have a 2 and a 7 for the last case. And as you can see, that worked, because 2 times 7 is 14. So we did do that in 15 blocks, but it was 178 steps. Again, all of that adding 0 to itself is not optimal. So let's go ahead and figure out if we can do this any faster. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this. And I want to do the same thing. So we're going to copy from 0 and copy to the result, because that seems like the best way to do this. Then we're going to go to the inbox and pick up, let's go ahead and jump if it's 0 all the way to the outbox from the get-go. And do the same thing here. So this means if we pick up a 0 either time, that we are going to basically go straight to the outbox, because we don't need to do any math on it. But there is a problem here, because if we pick up one number, and then we go straight to the outbox, there'll be its second number still sitting in the inbox. See, if this was a 0 here, we'd pick it up, go straight to the outbox, and that 4 would still be sitting there. So we do need to pick up a second number here, and then we can copy from result and send to the outbox, because result is 0. So okay, so now let's see. I guess if the second number we don't actually need to copy from the result, it won't really speed things up. Well, yeah, it would speed things up a little bit, because that's an extra step that would happen every time, right? Because if it's 0, we'll be holding 0, so we don't need to copy an extra 0. So that's a little bit of a time saving there. So now, when we get down to right in here, after step 6, this is where we need to do our actual math. So we're going to do the same thing that we did in the previous example. We're going to copy from the result. We are going to add B to it and store it in the result again. And then we are going to bump down A. And if A is 0, then we can copy from the result and send it to the outbox. Alrighty. So let's see how this works. I think we've got all of the steps. Oh, nope. Okay. We have missed a couple of really important steps. First of all, copying. And copying to B. Also, we missed our jump in here. So that's going to do the looping there. Okay, let's give this a shot now. So store R0, initialize it there. We're going to put 7 there and 2 there. Do this, bump it down. Keep on going. Blocks, and we did it in 140 steps. Okay. So I'm thinking if we do what we did in the last video and always have the smaller number in A, that might speed things up a little bit. So let's go ahead and set that up. We're going to name this A temp. Okay, so how do we do this? We need to subtract A temp, and then if it's negative, we need to do a little swap. I may have that backwards, but so let's copy from A temp, or copy from A rather. Now we need to copy from B, copy to A temp, copy from A, copy to B, copy from A temp, copy to A. I think. I hope that's right. We'll find out now, and then we'll jump right back to where we were. Okay, so let's see. This will be a great example, because 7 is larger than 2, so there we go. Subtract A temp, we get a negative number, so we need to do a swap. Alright, so that looks like it's working. That's good. So let's speed it up here and see if we saved those extra steps. Yep. Okay, 31. Getting closer. Let's not do that portion. Let's go ahead and copy him to the result instead of A10. And we're also going to copy it to A10. Alright, let's see. So, we just added a couple of extra steps in there. Oh. Okay. Why did that happen? Ah, that's why. Okay. So the problem there is that when we pick up the result here, it is the first number. That part's fine. And when we come down to here, good with the zeros, okay? Oh, okay, I see. Alright. So, the problem there was that we had numbers left over in our result because we were moving to copy from the result here before we actually stored the 0 in the result. So let's try this now. Oh. Okay, let's back up. Back up a bunch here. Start fresh. Okay, 3 times 4, so A, it's not 0. Store the 4 there. Okay. So, subtracting a temp there is the problem. We need to add back a temp otherwise, because weird things are happening. Let's try and see exactly where we go wrong. Store 9, store 9, store 9, 4, store it, subtract, get a -5. Okay. That's all working. Comes when we don't have to do this swap. Okay, we don't have to do the swap here, so pick up 6, store it there, copy it there, subtract it. Let's see if we can figure out exactly what's going on here. I need a smaller number and then a bigger number. Perfect, okay. So, we copy 4. It is not negative, so now we go above that, we get 0. Okay, so now we are going to, that's interesting. So having the result, oh, I see. We don't need, we should be copying the second number into the result field, not the first number. And then we need a copy to result down here as well. Alright. 2 down there, pick up the 4, put the 4 there, put the 4 there, put the 2 there, and now, there we go. Okay, that's looking good. Uh-oh. We've got another infinite loop going on here. So, if A becomes 0 at this point, so if A is a 1 right here, then we really should skip over all the looping. So we'll just move straight down to here. So we'll get to an example here shortly. We won't. There's one of these numbers is 0. Oh man. Okay, what went wrong? We're gonna need to copy it to result there as well. Then if it's 0, then we'll be able to copy the result and send it out. Okay. Alright, how did we do? They don't have high hopes. 31 blocks, that's a lot. Oh, we're so close. 118. Oh boy, okay. What can we do? Just copy this block again in here. Let's just try this part again. Copy from results, add A, copy to results, up minus A, add B, excuse me, jump of 0, down to the same place as that one. Alright, so doing it multiple times there will cut the number of times it has to jump, which might speed things up a little bit. So we did 118 last time. Just adding more and more blocks here. 115, so a little bit improved. I don't know how much we're really going to add by doing this again. Let's find out. Oh, I forgot the jump of 0, didn't I? I did. I forgot the jump of 0. Okay, so I think we can speed this up a little bit by having this guy go straight to the outbox. But that's the thing, is that we need to get the second number, so... If that guy's 0, he can go straight to the outbox. If the first guy is 0, then... you know what? Let's go ahead and remove a lot of this. Let's start fresh, except I want to keep my swap code because I like my swap code. Swap. Okay, so, our last step is always going to be copy from result and send to the outbox. Okay. So we're always going to start off by going to the inbox. And then we're going to copy it to slot A. Then we're going to need another inbox. Copy it to slot B. And copy to the result also. Okay. So now, if this is negative, or 0, then we want to go to the inbox. We need to go to the inbox again before we copy from the result and then go to the outbox. Okay, no problem there. Now let's see, copy to A. If it's 0, get out of there. Okay, so now we need to get B. Let's go ahead and get B. Okay, we've copied. We got A. We're storing that in our result. Really, I think we should copy B. We're going to assume that B is always the larger number. So A will always be the smaller number. So in this instance, we would not need to swap, but we need to detect. Swap here. Oh, I just realized something. We need to copy to the result first, because then we're going to copy from the result if it's 0. Okay, so that's good. Copy to result, copy to B, copy to A. Now, if that is 0, we go straight to the outputs. Yep. So now we detect the swap. And to do that, we need to subtract. If we subtract. Let's do that part later. So we want to. We're still going to use A as our counter, so we bump A down. If it's 0, then we're going to jump to this part here. Okay. And then we want to copy from our result. We want to add it to the store B. We want to add it to the result. And we want to bump A down again. And jump if 0 to back down here. Okay. So this should do it without the swap. Let's just make sure our logic is right before we try and plug in our swap. Okay, so I'm missing the main jump back to the top there. Okay. Jumping back to the top. Alright, so that worked. Now I want to get my swap plugged in to see if that makes it any faster. 26 blocks, 112 steps. Okay, so let's get our swap plugged in. And to do that, let's go ahead and get to our second number here. Oh, no, actually our first pair was a good... Come on. Okay, this is an example. This works. So, put 1 in the result field, 1 in B, and then put 2 in A. So now if we're holding 2, and we need to... Before we do that, we need to pick up B, store the result in, pick up B, subtract A. If it's negative, then we need to do our swap. Okay. So here we're going to copy from B, subtract A. If it's negative, we jump down to our swap. Jump right back up to our this one here. Okay. So let's see if this works. Okay. Why that is, let's see. Step through it. Oh. Okay. So let's step back through that quickly so we can see where we went wrong. happened in here? Something's not quite right here. It's supposed to be copied from, and then there we go. Oh, we just somehow that got mixed up. So let's try this again. That worked. Now we're gonna should need to do our swap. Did our swap speed things up? Oh, we're so close. We are one step away. Oh man. So I'm just gonna, because we saw that copying this block helped out earlier, I'm gonna put this in here again. Copy to result. Bump minus A. Jump if 0 down to here. Okay. I think this will work because that's gonna cause fewer jumps. Which is a good thing. Let's see, how do we do? Yeah, we did it in like 35. But how was the speed? Oh, 107! Alright, we did it. Oh, feels good. Okay, so, just goes to show, I feel like that's my catchphrase, that sometimes you really gotta take a step back and think about the problem and the optimizations that make sense, like doing that swap, helps out quite a lot. And, yeah. Anyway, this is shaping up to be a pretty long video, so I'm gonna call it a day here and say thank you very much for watching. This has been A Software Engineer Plays. If you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe, and tell your friends. Why not? Anyway, I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching again. Bye-bye.